Hello everyone, my name is Amit and welcome back to this channel. Have you seen a scenario where you want to create a cluster or you want to create an environment where you are looking for multiple machines, want to talk to each other and you want to configure them with different steps? If you are doing this manually, you are wasting too much of your time and energy. Is there any better solution? Yes, Vagrant has one. This is called as a multi-machine setup. In the multi-machine, you can ask Vagrant to create multiple machines with required steps. This can be done by using a simple configuration or simple change in Vagrantfile. So this is a Vagrantfile where we are defining two machines. Define web as my first machine. This is for my understanding. Web is the name of that machine, and this is the variable which will be used later for configuration or for updating the properties of it. Similar is done for the other one, like defining a DB. Again, DB is for my understanding, and this DB is a variable which we are using here in order to set all the different properties of that machine. It's not mandatory that you can go for or you have to go for different boxes for both the machines. You still can go for the same box and update them with the different properties. Scenario could be you are maybe you are setting up a Kubernetes cluster where you want master and worker to have similar configurations, where you can go for defining them and ask them to get the same configuration executed. Same goes for Jenkins cluster, same goes for Docker Swarm. There are n number of scenarios where we can think of creating multiple machines with almost similar or little bit different configurations at the same time. So you do not have to waste the time executing the same commands on multiple machines. Let me show you how it has to be done practically. Let's start creating the Vagrant file by using the command vagrant init. This will create a Vagrant file for us, and let's start updating this. When you are going to update this, first thing I want to get rid of is all the comments, and then we'll start setting up these machines. I want to set two machines here. But before I do that, because I'm on Mac and VMware is the one provider I'm using right now, so let me set that linked clone equals to false. So again, config.vm.provider, provider is VMware _ desktop. Let's create a new variable called as v, for example, and then say v.linked_clone is equals to false and end this block. Okay, now here we want to set two machines. Say this is my first machine. To define a first machine, we can say config.vm.define. Give it a name. Probably I can say m1, for example. Create a variable named anything. For example, I can say m1 and end the block and say m1.vm.hostname is going to be equals to say m1. Okay. Let's create another one, something like a second machine. I'll call this as m2. I can create a variable called as an m2 and change this wherever I want to use this. Right now I'm keeping the same box for both of them. So box name, oh sorry, I need to change this one to Ubuntu, forgot to do that. So I'm keeping the same Ubuntu box for both of them, but if it is needed, you can set set machine box 1 and set machine 2 as box 2. This is up to you. Whatever you want to change there. Also, you can change those settings as per your requirement. I kept it very simple for you to understand the concept here. Now that configuration is finished, let's go back and validate our changes by using Vagrant validate command. Now, seems like everything is validated successfully. I can use the last command Vagrant up, and this will start building up those machines. So what essentially it is going to do here is like it is going to create two virtual machines by using that same box Ubuntu, and then it will start creating those m1 and m2 by setting the host name of m1 as m1 and m2 as m2. So precisely if I'm, let's say, creating a Kubernetes cluster, then I will go for say executing few instructions for both of them at the same time, like updating some updating cache or installing some dependencies, or installing, let's say, Docker, or installing containerd, installing kubeadm, kubectl. All of those steps which I want to perform on both the machines, I can put them in one single step, and both of these machines will have all the configurations at the same time. Now same goes for all the clusters that you want to set up. There is a scenario, for example, I have a machine where I want to create or where I want to host the front end, and another machine where I want to host a back end. That can also be done by setting those machines configurations individually. So in this block, I will set up all the configurations for M1. In this block, I'll set up all the configurations of M2. And guess what? When this process is finished, you will have two machines with you where you can play with them. And good thing is like both of them can talk to each other because both of them will be part of same network. That's the beauty of it. So you do not have to worry about setting up any IP addresses or stuff like that. Because of the VMware network, both of them will connect to each other without having any separate configurations done. So it seems like my first machine is already ready. You can see that it is saying maybe it is already ready here. Machine has booted successfully. And second machine is about to get done. It's waiting for VM to receive an address. Once it receives an address, it will boot, and in a moment I will have both the machines ready. Oh, wonderful. You can see that it's almost ready. Great, both of them are ready. If I go for Vagrant status, it will show me what's the status for both of them. So if I look at M1 and M2, both of them are running, which means now both of them are ready and I can connect to both of them individually. I can say Vagrant SSH, the name that I chose for M1 is M1, so I can say Vagrant SSH M1, and as you can see here, if I look at the hostname command, it is setting that hostname as M1. If I exit out from here and if I say M2, now this will give me a chance to connect to my second machine. Again, if I look at the host name, I can see that the host name here is M2. So what I'm trying to show you here is an example where you can have multiple machines, set up or both of them or all of them as per your requirement, and all of them will be part of same network. I hope you must have found out how to set up your multi-machine environment with the help of this particular setup. Thank you very much for watching this video. Stay tuned for other videos.